And now she's in custody. She hasn't been released yet. Her custody's been extended, so we're gonna make a video for her. This is her song. Okay. Oh shit, they're coming up. Wait, just say Joy, you make us proud. Say it clear, say it loud.
Say it clear, say it loud.
Joy, you make us proud.
Joy, you make us proud.
Hey, we love you, Joy. Coming out, yeah? Fuck the police, 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 fuck the police. Say it clear, say it loud! Say it loud! Lottie, you make us proud!
Lottie, you make us proud!
Say it clear, say it loud!
Say it clear, say it loud!
Jordan, you make us proud!
Jordan, you make us proud!
Say it clear, say it loud!
Say it clear, say it loud!
T, you make us proud!
T, you make us proud!
Say it clear, say it loud!
Say it clear, say it loud!
Zoe, you make us proud!
Zoe, you make us proud!
Ellie, you make us proud!
Ellie, you make us proud!
Shut Albert Systems down!
Shut Albert Systems down!
Shut Albert Systems down!
Shut Albert Systems down!
Legends!
Charges right now!
Drop the 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 charges right now!
Free them all! Free them all!
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 Break the chains and let them fall!
Break the chains and let fall! Free them all!
Break the chains and let them fall!
Break the chains and let them fall!
Free them all! Free them all!
Free them all! Free them all!
Break the chains and let them fall!
Break the chains and let them fall!
We want justice, tell me how!
We want justice, tell me how!
Drop the charges right now!
the cell.
Break the chains and give them hell.
Break the chains and give them hell.
From the streets to the cell.
From the streets to the cell.
Break the chains and give them hell.
Break the chains and
Chains and crime.
killing doctors all the time.
Killing doctors all the time.
Everyone, this man needs no introduction. You all know what an incredible human and ambassador of humanity he is. So please give a very warm welcome to Liam from the Filton 24!
Hiya. Hello. I'm Liam. I'm one of the Filton 24 political prisoners. Has anyone here seen Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
It's a good film, isn't it?
I'll get you a time.
Like most of the cast is fish. I don't know how they did it. There's this scene at the end of it, right, where there's this big trawler, this like big industrial fishing trawler, like catches all the fish in a big net, and they're all done for, and you know, they're all this is what it felt like for me in prison, sort of tied in with all these other souls, sort of taken out of your habitat, gasping for your life kind of thing. And in the film, this fish comes from outside, and he comes in and he tells all the fish to swim down at once. He says, all the fish swim down at once and you will break the system, and the net breaks and all the fish are free. And that's why you people are here today. These people on the outside, like, you are heroes in this story. Like, this is how we build the movement. Like, this is what it is. Because like, we have to remember that our struggles are collective. Like, our struggle, the Filton 24 struggle, the Palestine struggle, Lebanon, all this kind of stuff. We're not doing this just because it's human suffering and we do feel that in our heart, but we're also doing it because we're all part of the same struggle. And like to put that into perspective, I'm from an Irish family, and 1922 Ireland kicked the British paramilitaries out of England. And where did they go? Straight to Palestine. The black and tans took everything they knew about collective punishment and they took it to Palestine, where they've been refining it and working on these tactics of oppression all these years. And now what's happened? It's come to us, it's come to our reality. Now they're using it on us. It's the logical conclusion of it. We are all part of the same struggle. So yeah, that's what we have to keep in mind, where we are all these fishes swimming together, and the only way that we break out of this net, we break out of the trawler net, is that we all swim in the same direction.
One struggle, one fight.
The people united
We'll never be defeated.
The people united
We'll never be defeated.
to Palestine.
builds pressure and momentum and fills the earth. The only reason for their adhesion not there behind this lobby. Let's always remember, right at but it won't work. Our growing movement has built one of the largest and most sustained protest movements in British political history. It has brought together the widest range of people from every conceivable background and all walks of life. That's what we see, don't you, on every demonstration. And so it is particularly grotesque. To crush labour movements, not just in the 1980s, but in the 1880s. Attempts to squash the Chartists, attempts to squash the emancipators. All of this is old in this country, and all of this is happening again. We live in the very heart of empire, and we may be in the belly of a dying beast, with all of our colonial properties slowly ebbing away. But many of us stood here are the children and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of people who were occupied, who were colonized, who were enslaved, who were in serf, myself included. When my ancestors rose up against the Ottomans, do you think they asked nicely? No! When the Irish rose up to shake off the yoke of the British in 1916, did they ask nicely? No! Did the suffragettes ask for the right to vote nicely? No! Did the gay liberation movement ask for the right to be with who they love nicely? No! Did women ask for our right to an abortion, our right to our own bodies nicely? No! Carry on! Carry on! Carry on! Hold on! Israel does not ask nicely.
She's already the Israelis for some reason.
No occupying state has to ask nicely. The Brits did not ask nicely. The Jewish woman on this stage, I protest with all of you. The Spanish did not ask the people they enslaved in the Americas nicely. The Brits did not ask nicely. The French do not support Israeli occupation and apartheid. I know this. But our government thinks it's easier to ignore us and to stop us from protesting by sitting in that building that is notionally for all of us and voting to take our rights away from us. I'm just going to share a sentiment that I think we're all going to agree with. Regardless of what is happening in there, we are all going to continue to come out and vote and to continue to stand on the streets and all, not so nicely, for an end to apartheid and an end to occupation. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. I'm proud to stand with you today on behalf of Quakers in Britain. For nearly 400 years, Quakers have been led by faith to bear witness and to take action against injustice. As Quakers, we believe our faith means taking action and not just standing by belief. Going out into the world to make it more compassionate, more equal, and more just. Speaking truth to power is a central part of Quaker faith. And it has been this way for centuries, whether the authorities like it or not. Quakers were visible in the anti-slavery movement, the suffragettes, the movement for nuclear abolition, and the movement for a free Palestine. None of these movements were without the cumulative disruption that this government is trying to outlaw as I speak. Terrorists! Would anyone argue today that these movements would have succeeded without causing disruption and making the powerful sit up and listen? Of people to transform society, that organising and mobilising is a fundamental right, and that speaking truth to power is a commitment that we must all make. We all know we're living through a moment of terrifying and converging crisis, escalating war, rising temperatures, and a terrifying growth of fascism. Yet it's those who are raising the alarm, those who are marching for peace, for justice, and for human rights, who are being treated as criminals. When the state can ban a microphone but can't get around to stopping the bombs dropping on Palestine, Lebanon, and Iran, we know where the priorities of this government lie. Friends, we are witnessing something profoundly dangerous. A government, but also an opposition, willing to sacrifice our fundamental freedoms. The right to protest, once celebrated as the beating heart of British democracy, is now under systematic assault. And it's not just this government, but successive governments have criminalised political dissent. Courts are handing down unprecedented jail sentences for acts of non-violent dissent. The police are arresting people, not for what they've done, but for what they might do, for carrying duct and string. Peaceful protest is being reframed as extremism, and it's environmental defenders, trade unionists, anti-racists, and of course Palestine solidarity activists, who are all being treated as a threat. Because when we march for Gaza, for climate justice, for migrant rights, we are shining a light on their complicity in injustice. So this isn't about law and order, it's about fear. It's about a government who fears the power of people. And meanwhile, as we all know, far-right agitators, harass and intimidators with the full tolerance of the state. And we're seeing this playbook of authoritarianism rolling out across the UK. The weaponisation of words like serious disruption to justify sweeping arrests. Repeat, protests being prohibited. Where climate activists are put in prison simply for speaking or telling the truth. Where even attending a meeting becomes grounds for arrest. This is not democracy, this is repression. And we only need to look around the world. We can see it from Trump's attacks on the right to protest, from ICE murdering those who stand in solidarity with their neighbours, of German authorities turning their batons and water cannons on those who speak about Palestine, of the far right in India, lynching Muslims and minorities. We know that in every corner of the world, our rights are under attack. Yet, in that building over there, our Prime Minister and our Home Secretary are telling us they have to attack our rights in order to protect our freedom. Freedom for who? Freedom for the war criminals who can walk around free? Freedom for the British citizens who can join a foreign military and engage in genocide and face no scrutiny, no raids, no Schedule 7 stops, no talk of radicalisation or hate speech. But Ben Jamal, the respected leader of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, can be found guilty for organising a peaceful protest. And we know that when the far right, who attack us on the streets, are being given central London, they're being given it by the same police who arrested Ben. And we cannot allow this to become the new normal. Because the truth, as you've heard from all of our speakers, is just a few yards from here. Those people in Parliament now celebrate. The suffragettes, the anti-apartheid movement, Nelson Mandela, civil rights campaigners, all of them who were once branded threats in their time. Their statues now stand in Parliament. They should be locking all those people up because they know that those people would be standing with us today in this fight. Because just like them, our movements are today. Whether it's for Palestine, for climate justice, or against racism and fascism, we will be the ones who will be remembered as the moral compass of our age. Because when peaceful protest is criminalised, when rights are stripped away, when campaigners are silenced, we do not have a free society. And we have to remind the Prime Minister, because he once believed this. We know, because many of us work with him, he once believed this. He might have forgotten, or he might choose to forget he believed this. But every single right, every benefit we enjoy, every freedom, we demanded those, we campaigned for those, time and time again. We refused to stay silent, and they were never given to us. We organised and we mobilised and we demanded them repeatedly because we refuse to accept inequality, injustice and inhumanity. So on behalf of Friends of the Earth, I want to say very clearly, we believe that protest is not extremism, that solidarity is not hate, and that freedom to resist injustice is non-negotiable. So our job now, not just as campaigners, as parliamentarians, but also as simply as human beings, is to defend each and every one of those freedoms with everything we've got. Because if we lose this fight, we lose the possibility of democracy, and we lose the possibility of transforming this society and transforming our world to a fairer, more just and greener world. History is watching us, the planet is watching us, and people are standing in solidarity with us. The time to act is now. Thank you, comrades.
Representing Friends of Al-Aqsa, one of the co-organisers of today's rally. Please give a warm welcome to Shamil Jordan.
Well! The irony is not lost here, is it, people? It's not lost. What nutty times we live in. It's absolutely crazy. We stand here to stand for the right to protest. At the same time, without the bill even going forward, they're preempting the fact that obviously passed and already the authoritarian, the draconian measures already in place, saying we can't even use a mic. And you know what? If it wasn't so serious, this would be funny. But it is serious. And it's not funny. Because we are walking into a police state that wants to silence any form of dissent. And we know what history shows and where this path lies. And I don't say this lightly. We must be aware with our eyes open that this is serious, the threats are serious, and our response must be serious. My brothers and sisters, what does this mean? This means that we together collectively need to ensure we dig deeper in our activism, because the state is deliberately taking these actions over the last 2 decades or so to silence us. They're trying to scare us. They are trying to intimidate us. But we know that the road to justice, the road to freedom, is one they cannot put blockade on. They cannot stop our voice. They cannot stop our unity, because we know the threats against us, and we know the roles and responsibilities that we all have. So I ask you, I plead you all to not give up, to stand strong, to stand united, because our voice moving forward is going to be more important than it has ever been before. So we must build, we must mobilize, and we must continue on our path for a free Palestine! Free Palestine! We try to silence our voice, so we stand free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! They were saying earlier, maybe they can't hear us inside. Nah! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! 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 Our voices for freedom, for justice will never, ever be silent.
This means that protest is no longer treated as a right, but rather as a privilege, something that can be granted, managed and withdrawn by the authorities. But protest in this country has never been a privilege. It's the foundation of democracy. Every right that we have today, workers' rights, women's rights, civil liberties, the right to organise, the right to speak, the right to be here today, came from the right to protest. And it didn't come from the generosity of those in power. It came because ordinary people like you and me marched and gathered and resisted and refused to stay silent. And that is why this amendment is so dangerous, because it understands something precisely, that protesting works. To the streets to protest this government's complicity. It works when we come out time and time again to call for the end of the genocide. It works when communities stand against injustice. It works when we continue to organise, to mobilise and to refuse the status quo. And so instead of addressing its own complicity, the government is trying to shut down those who are standing against it. They'll allow you to protest once, maybe twice, but if you build a movement, if you refuse to go away, they will silence you. And so what we're facing today is not just a crackdown fundamental threat to democracy itself. And let's be clear, the timing is absolutely no coincidence. In the middle of the genocide in Gaza, and escalating violence in Lebanon, in Iran, all of which this government is complicit in, they have chosen not to end that complicity, but to target those who protest against it, because it is inconvenient for them. So regardless of how today's vote goes, let us make a few things clear to those sitting across the road. It is the people, not the state, that holds power. Our right to protest injustice, to demand an end to the genocide, to demand an end to the government's complicity, does not come from legislation and will not be taken away by legislation. They can try all they want, but the truth is this, that so long as there is injustice, we will continue to come out. So long as their complicity continues, we will not disappear. We'll continue to march, we'll continue to protest, we'll continue to organise, and we'll continue to mobilise bigger and louder, and we will not go away. So let's...
Our people who are inside kind of listening to the debate right now. So as we all know, the government has tried to railroad this draconian amendment through by combining it in a kind of package with lots of other amendments, including ones that protect other important rights and are widely supported. A small number of MPs who are absolutely committed to defending protest rights are determined to secure an individual vote on the cumulative disruption amendment. But they've made clear to the government that if they don't get to vote on it individually, which obviously the government is doing everything to try and make sure they can't, that they will vote against that whole package altogether on principle. These MPs would otherwise be here speaking to you today, but they're heartened to know that we are out here defending all of our right to protest while they are trying to do the same thing inside the chamber. Now, obviously the police don't want them to hear us, so let's try and shout as loudly as possible. Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
When our right to protest is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our right to protest is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our right to protest is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our right to protest is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free! Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
In our thousands, in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands, in our millions!
Thank you very much. It's amazing to see so many of you here again protesting yet again. I feel like we're protesting like 3-4 times a week now, given the scale of the crisis that we face. So, as I say, really proud to be here representing CND. CND itself has a very proud history and a very rich tradition of protest. From the peaceful, non-violent direct action to close down nuclear bases, to the mass protests against genocide, war and the rising nuclear threats that we face today. The right to protest goes to the core of a healthy, vibrant democracy. But just look at the state of this so-called democracy today. Shameful, isn't it?
Yeah,
And now This legislation being forced through Parliament today, we know it has absolutely nothing to do with protecting communities, and it has absolutely everything to do with repressing support for the Palestinian people. The government is trying to defend the indefensible. They cannot tolerate the fact that an overwhelming majority of the population oppose their complicity in Israel's genocide. So they want to disrupt, they want to block, they want to deny our fundamental human rights to protest. But we won't let them! No! They're trying to shut down our movement that has mobilised millions of people to take action, to take to the streets for Palestine. But we will not be silenced! No! We must fight this legislation, just as we are fighting the shameful, outrageous convictions of Ben Jamal and Chris Snyder. Peaceful protest, just as we are challenging the proscription of Palestine action. This legislation is about giving the police even greater powers to make unjust, politicised decisions about who can protest, where and when. So we are now facing yet another outrage of the police denying the annual Nakba commemorative demonstration, giving it, they've refused to give it our requested route through central London, and instead are enabling violent fascists to take over central London on that day. This is deeply reactionary, politicised policing, and it reflects the moral bankruptcy of this government that wants to silence those who want to call out its complicity in genocide. And if this week has shown us anything, it's how critical our right to protest is. We have a government that continues to militarily actively support the Trump administration, totally ignoring, like he didn't even say it, the veiled threats of a nuclear annihilation of the Iranian people, to wipe out an entire civilization. That is a war crime. It's trying to commit genocide. But this government, not a word. This is what we're up against. But Trump and Starmer are more and more isolated than they've ever been, and more unpopular. And we won't stop calling out their war crimes, and we won't stop calling out Starmer's complicity, because we aren't bowed, are we? We aren't silenced, are we? No! And we will never stop protesting, will we? No! Because we are fighting for a better world. Based on international law. On human rights. On global solidarity. And cooperation. We want a world free from poverty, racism, war and genocide. We are fighting for a better world, and we will win!
Representing the Stop the War Coalition, one of the co-organisers of today's rally. Please give a very warm welcome to Alex.
My name's Alex Kenny, I'm the chair of the Stop the War Coalition, and I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight, coming along to this important demonstration. And I would like to start by asking you all to show your solidarity with Ben Jamal from the Palestine Solidarity Campaign and Chris Snyder from Stop the War. Because their conviction last week is an attack on our right to protest, and we send solidarity to them and all those who have been criminalised by this government for showing support for the Palestinian people, for standing up and doing the right thing. But let me tell you this. When the judge last week said he found Ben and Chris guilty, he delivered his verdict and he sentenced them, he said this to them. He said, "You are men of previously good character, and my judgment today takes that away." Who is that judge? How dare he judge the character of Ben, Jamal and Chris Nynham after all they have done in the last 24 months to stand up for the Palestinian people? We judge Ben, Jamal and Chris Nynham, and we find them men of good character, don't we? Colleagues, as others have said, the right to protest should be and is the cornerstone of any democratic society. And we know that when governments are in crisis, it is those who would generate dissent, those who would hold them to account, that they seek to silence and crack down on. We see it here and we see it in the States, where Donald Trump is bringing in measures to crack down on dissent. And what an irony, as people have said, that today, when we exercise our right to protest and we stand up for our right to protest, that we can't do it with microphones. Yeah. But we shouldn't be surprised by that, because across the road, just remember, on the day that MPs voted to prescribe Palestine action, they then paraded in Westminster Hall wearing suffragette sashes to commemorate the work of the suffragettes. This government would have banned the suffragettes 100 years ago. So we take no lessons, they are hypocrites, and we take no lessons from them in the right to protest, or what's the right way to protest. Colleagues, for the last 2.5 years, as we've campaigned for the rights of the Palestinian people and the end to the siege in Gaza, calling for a ceasefire, the establishment have tried to strangle our movement. They've called us hate marchers, they've tried to ignore us, and then they've tried to demonise us, and they've tried to strangle us. Month after month, we have faced increased restrictions from the police on where we can march, how we can march, what chants we can use, and even how much noise we can make. Do you remember outside the Israeli embassy on one of our national demonstrations, they said you can't use pots and pans because it's too upsetting for some people's ears, and now we can't use microphones in case people hear what we say. And I want to tell you, as we were approaching January the 18th last year, the demonstration that led to the arrest of Ben Jamal and Chris Nynham, one of the police officers, we were in a meeting, said to us, "Why do you keep doing this?" This was only our 21st national demonstration. We've had 35 now. He said, "Why do you keep doing this? Haven't you made your point?" I won't tell you what Ben Jamal said in response to that, but let's remember, we keep doing this because the injustice continues. We keep doing this because the killing continues. And we keep doing this because silence is not an option. And we recognise that all these attempts to demonise and criminalise the Palestine movement is intended to demoralise us, it's intended to derail us, and it's intended to distract us. But it isn't working, as others have said. It cannot work, and it won't work. And if anything, it's making us bigger, stronger, and more determined. I just want to finish by saying that we know about the convictions of Ben Jamal and Chris Nynham. They will be putting in appeal. They are appealing against their conviction. But myself and Sophie Bolt are also waiting now for a trial date on similar charges to what Ben and Chris faced. So I hope you'll show solidarity to me and Sophie. I keep saying, the longer they make us wait, the less chance I'll have of remembering what happened on that day. So they better hurry up and get on with it. But I want to finish with my favourite chant, because the second part of it is, we will not be silenced. And that is our message today, we will not be silent. So join me. We are the people! We will not be silent! Stop the bombing! Now, 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 now! One more time. We are the people! We will not be silent! Stop the bombing! Now, 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 now! See you on the streets on May 16th!
Thank you all for being here for this important protest as we await the outcome of tonight's vote, tonight's debate on the crime and policing bill. After tonight, if the government gets its way, the police will be given even greater powers to restrict, curtail and effectively prevent protests based on their so-called cumulative disruption. You want to protest outside Parliament against a rotten law? I'm sorry, somebody else did that yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Of course they did. Of course they did, because we know there are very good reasons why people continue to protest in the same places. Outside Parliament, in town centres and Trafalgar Square, in front of the embassies of states committing genocide and apartheid, outside the very places where terrible decisions like this are taken. But of course, we also know that this latest attack on our democratic rights doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have seen consistent attempts to silence the movement for Palestinian rights, a campaign of demonization, attempts to label those protesting as treasonous or unpatriotic, much of it couched in racist and Islamophobic language that has contributed in no small part to the alarming growth of the far right. And alongside that, state repression, the disgraceful proscription of Palestine Action, the arrest of 3,000 people for holding signs, the targeting